Welcome to The Good Ride, where we've been sucking less every year for over 10 years. And this is the Burton Kendo review. I feel like I know this boot, and when I saw the Burton description, I went, oh yeah, oh yeah. I used to own the Hail, I used to own the Grail, I used to own the Fiend, I owned the Fiend LTD, and I loved all those boots. The Fiend LTD was one of my favorite boots of all time. It was right up there with some of the older boots, like the SLX in the late O's, and so this has just a little touch from that. It's a soft, traditional lace, great fitting, comfortable boot, made for those who mainly like park or just like a less responsive boot on the mountain. A lot of people like that feel, just a more free feel around the ankles and response-wise. So, talking about sizing, I'm a 9 and my width is an E. So a 9E is kind of hard for some boots, but Burton fits a little on the wider side. They're one of the more wide boots. I'm totally fine in a 9E. You might even be able to do a little wider, but they also make in some Burton boots a wide. So look for that if you're wider than me. But they'll fit most widths from narrow all the way up to about my size, maybe a touch bigger, maybe not a double E, but you know, up there. And as far as adjustability goes, traditional lace is still where you want to be when it comes to adjustability. There are just so many ways you can adjust this starting from around your ankle up. And I love that aspect of traditional lace. It just makes it so much better. Now, with, heel hold, it's, Burton's not the best there. There are so many companies that are doing focus boa, where two boas actually overlap over your ankle and really get the upper and lower. But if you look inside here, you can see, let me see if I can get that going right. You can see that there is two J-bars, pretty sizable J-bars in the inside that really help hold the heel in. So it's good, but not great. And then the on and off, yeah, sometimes I get my traditional lace on faster than people with speed lace, and especially people with double boa, because you have to crank for so long to get it just right. And so sometimes I'm doing it better, or not better, but faster than other people, and you can as well. So it's not that bad on and off. And now, talking about the flex, you can see here, it's pretty soft. Now, Burton lately has been making their boots really soft. The last 4 or 5 years, they've just they don't even really use a total rating system anymore. But let's say, for example, they call this kind of medium-ish, medium soft. I would say it's medium soft. I would say it's a little more responsive than you would think for its flex, but it's still not quite what they would say compared to a lot of boots out there that are in that medium-ish range. But the response is decent enough. And the flex retention is great because, I'll show you with this one, they've got an articulating cuff that really allows two things. One, a nice smooth forward flex, right? But it also retains the flex. I loved my old Fiend LTDs and all the other boots I mentioned, like the Hail, the Grail, and the Fiend, because they had a more durable backstay that's rubber. This is just reinforced foam, so it's going to break down a little faster than the old days, and that's kind of a bummer. And they used to have kind of more going on inside with the liner. Now they don't even have flex retention bars here, but it felt like a nice even flex here. But everything's a little more built for day one comfort than it is for long-term reliability. I still think you can get 100 days out of this, no problem. It's just going to be a little bit softer. So love the articulating cuff, but then everything else around it just really isn't like built the way Burton boots used to be. And then shock absorption. It's, you know, Burton goes with kind of that EST optimized outsole. So there isn't that much going on in terms of shock absorption. They want you to feel the board more. You know, Burton boots are really designed, they work with everything, but they're really designed for EST bindings and Burton boards that are really doing cool things with just like very thin EVA foam on top of thin EVA foam and the board. So you really have a cool board feel. And so if you're down for that, this is going to be great. Even with non-Burton stuff, like non-Burton boards and bindings. But if you want a lot of shock absorption, you might have to do something like, and you still want this boot, you might just like get a Footprint insole technology game changer and get it heat molded. This adds so much shock absorption to your ride, and that's what I do when I'm riding Burton, and that's my old trusty beat up one from last year, but I just pulled it out on the fly. Now, inside though, I don't know if you can see this, but there is like a little orange rubbery panel on the inside that gives you a little more shock absorption, and below that is a heat blanket, so you get a little warmth. And traction wise, love that it's just an all rubber sole and it's just continuous. Really cool there, well done. And then footprint, the footprint of this boot is really good. The only boots I've found that are smaller are my Adidas Tactical ADVs. And Adidas boots, I can fit in an 8.5 in those, and they're already really reduced in footprint, so they're usually, in general, a little smaller, but it changes according to size. So as you get up to like a 10, 11, they're pretty close, and those are usually the more critical sizes for those in-betweeners. If you're kind of in between a board, getting Burton, like a board width for your boot size, which is really critical, getting a Burton can help a lot. So overall, I mean, these are still great boots. I wish there was a little more like amazing construction like Burton had in years past, but it's still an amazing, pretty durable, well-built boot for those who just kind of want mellow flexing, almost medium-ish, almost medium response, medium slow response, and just a good feel with a little bit of an auto cant going on here to help align your joints and all that kind of stuff. So there you have it. That is the reincarnation of the Fiend, the Kendo.